Are we live? Can you guys see me okay? It looks like we are live. How are you guys? Welcome to September AroMagic. I'm so excited. I have been looking forward to seeing you. And so hopefully you can see me too in the feed. Just let me know that you can see me and I'm live and we're all ready to go. We had some technological issues. You can see me, yay. Okay, good. So we are here, we're ready to go. I'm super excited, I hope you are too. We're talking about some of my favorite things, and we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is divination and astral travel and getting out of your body and flying around town a little bit. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight. I'm so glad you can see me. I am still recovering, and so it is, I've had to give myself a voice break today a couple times, so I'm hoping that my voice is going to hold for the hour. I am, oh, thanks you guys. I have tea. I actually have a little Uva Ursi in my tea tonight. These are actually my Uva Ursi tea bags because I use it. So I am really excited for you guys to learn about tonight's oils and tonight's herbs. And we're going to go as far as we can. I also would like to talk to you about Transmute, which was the special blend that I gifted you with this last kit. Would love to talk about Sacramentum tonight if we can. Maybe we'll talk about beetle leaf tonight if we get there. If not, we'll do a bonus session and we'll do all of the other goodies when we join for a bonus. Uva Ursi is in my toolkit. I mean, it's just there are a couple things in tonight's set that I think you're going to absolutely fall in love with. If you didn't get the set and after tonight's class you're like, you know, I really want it, there are 15 of them left, just to let you know. And then the kit for October is live in the shop today. I think you know that. And about half of those are gone. So if you would like to get the October kit, it is live in the shop for you today. I missed you too. It feels like it's been a minute, doesn't it? Although I was live every night last week, and I was like, you know what? If we get through this week and they still want to see me or hear me talk about stuff, I'll be really surprised. So anyway, I'm glad that you're happy to see me. I'm thrilled to see you too. Yay! Okay, so you are all set. So tonight, if there's time, I wanted to read to you a little bit. I'm a voracious reader. It is probably a side effect of having been an academic for a long time. But I'm always reading something. In fact, I'm reading 4 different books right now. And so I have a little bit from here about scent families that I think you might really find interesting. And if I don't get a chance to read it tonight, maybe I'll do a little separate recording for you and read it to you in a separate session. So we'll just kind of see how time goes tonight. I also have your questions. There were a few of you who had questions. You like it when I read to you? I'm so glad. Do you know I have like a fetish when it comes to being read to? I not in a sexual way, but I had a professor in college, and as I was a lit major, and she would start reading to us, and I would just close my eyes and I would almost fall asleep, and it was absolutely hypnotic. I used to tell her, don't be offended. It's a compliment that your voice just sends me there, you know. And it was so funny. As soon as she would open her mouth and start reading, it was like my whole central nervous system would just relax. So hopefully I have a little bit of that effect on you when I read to you too. It's partly my intention. Does it really? Yeah, it's really, really funny. Too funny. So I'll show you the book, and I'll post, if I don't get to it tonight, I'll post the name of the book in the group, but I'll walk you through it and share with you what it is. There are not a lot of good, in my personal opinion, there are not a lot of good aromatherapy books. There are a lot of okay aromatherapy books, but there's nothing that really tells the totality. So glad you guys are here. And those of you who are new, really want to welcome you. There's really no book that for me represents the totality of all the information that I like to have, which is a blend of course, the basic aromatherapeutic information, but I also like the history. I like the mythology. I like the, you know, all of the tales woven together, and not just about the oils, but the countries that they come from and how are they used. So there isn't really anything not complete, except I'm working on it. It will be one of the books that I do. It's not going to be the first book that I do. It's not in the first 4 that are coming, but it will come at some point down the road. I'm working on it. Aw. Okay, so I'm excited about that. Plus, I want to tell you, so if you are in Holistic Healer, I highly recommend that you stay where you are. And if you're not in Holistic Healer, I highly recommend that you upgrade before December 1st. And I'm going to tell you why tonight. So our affiliate program is coming. But if you are a Holistic Healer, you are going to be able to recruit sub-affiliates under you in much the same way that doTERRA does their program. And so this is sort of the first time I'm even approaching the subject. I haven't talked too much about what this will look like, but only holistic healers are going to be able to have sub-affiliates. And so if you're in Holistic Healer, you are going to be able to not only purchase things, you know, and have other people purchase using your code, and you get a percentage of that back in PayPal at the end of every month, but then you will have sub-affiliates under you. And so you will also earn a portion of every sale that they make as well. And so that is all coming. Again, you can join the affiliate program no matter what program you are in. But if you're a holistic healer, you have access to the sub-affiliate program, which is a really big deal. If you guys are, you know, already do doTERRA or something like that, you have a sense of how that works. It's pretty darn amazing. But the big thing is getting in early is really important. So if you are in Holistic Healer already, stay there. That's what I recommend. The other big news is that we are going to have something free for the holistic healers who do the sub-affiliate program. It's either going to be a free gift or a free set every month for you. And so what's amazing is starting in December, which is when this will begin, you're going to get so much more for your, I'm not raising the price of Holistic Healer. You're going to get so much more for the value of the program that you're already in, including free tools and the ability to then make money when you use your code and people purchase. Really exciting. This could be really good. I mean, those of you who want to be able to make a living doing what you love and sharing what you learn here, this is really going to be a serious opportunity for you to do that. I'm so glad you're excited. I know this is a big, big deal. So be sure to pre-register for the affiliate program. We will get you the link if you haven't pre-registered. I think most of you have. There's no cost to join the affiliate program. That's the other thing. And there's not going to be any minimum stuff to buy. It's going to be a lot of exciting things coming. We're doing really special bottles, and we are expanding our entire offering of essential oils to include all of the basics and then all of the really special oils too. And there'll be 2 different sizes for you to choose from, 5 ml and 15 ml. So it's an exciting world that's about to open. And so all you have to do to get ready for it is pre-register for the affiliate program and make sure that you're in Holistic Healer, and that way you'll get all of the information. Yeah, so if you want someone to be under you, they have to join Holistic Healer. The good news is, if you get, the math works out that if you get 10 people under you, it covers your entire membership. So, and I'm sure you have at least 10 friends who love essential oils and want to do all of this together with you. My goal is to make sure that you are getting really solid education, which is why we're going to be sending the free kits and why you're going to get access to a private video teaching you about the focus tools for that month. There's going to be a lot of education, even more than you're getting now, because I want to make sure that people who are doing this are really well versed in the tools that they're going out there and talking about. So I'm hoping that that'll be a really fun differentiator for us too, is how much wisdom and insight and information you're going to have to be able to go out and talk to people and build your business successfully. It's pretty exciting. So that's new, and wanted to share that with you guys tonight. Thank you, Sue, for that. I appreciate that. I don't feel great today, so hearing that I look good is makes me happy for a minute. Yeah, it's really important. I mean, there's a lot of, there are other programs like this, but I think you're going to be more successful and you're going to have a better experience if the more you know. Do you know what I mean? But I will tell you, with most programs like this, the key is to be able to get in early. That's why I'm saying if you aren't a holistic healer yet, you have until December 1st, basically, to change, because that's when the new program will launch and go live, and that's when everybody's going to start to build out their units, right? And so there will be levels, just like doTERRA in a way, there will be levels. And so, based on what level you're in and how you're doing, there'll be different perks and rewards and lots of other things. It'll be fun to see how this all grows and expands. Really exciting. Here we go. So let's jump right into tonight's beautiful tools, because I have so much to tell you about tonight's beautiful things, and I have a giveaway, a really good one. This is scanner selenite. This is scanner selenite. And if you don't know what a scanner is, I know this is AroMagic and I'm giving away a gemstone, but I really felt strongly today when I looked at, no, Angela is asking, is this going to be strictly essential oils? No, this is the entire line of Sage Goddess products for the affiliate and for the sub-affiliates, everything. Everything in a sage goddess line. That's why it's so exciting, because a lot of people with doTERRA felt like, oh, there's just essential oils. You know, you're kind of limited. But with sage goddess, there's gemstones and candles and incense and home decor and jewelry, and it just goes on and on and on and on. I know, right? So yeah, scanner. The way you use this, it's really a Native American legend about scanner crystals, is that if you can see through the crystal, that you can actually go like this on a client or even on yourself, and look through the crystal, and that when you learn to read your crystal well enough, it basically will show you where there is disease or illness in the body, whether it's your own, whether you're scanning your own body or whether you're scanning someone else's. So at the end of tonight's session, I'm going to give this away. Isn't it beautiful? I know. Yeah, Rana, we'll get you the link for pre-registration. If my team is watching, if you guys could just drop the affiliate pre-registration link in, and if they don't get that message from me now, then I will make sure that I go in after the session and add it for you. So exciting, right? All the things, all the time. I'm glad it's calling to you. I know it belongs to one of you. That's why I'm saying, even though it's AroMagic and not GemWise, I absolutely know this belongs in one of your hands. And so tonight I get to do that. What does read your crystal mean? So what happens with scanners is you start to understand the symbols that they work through. So over an area of illness, you might start to, it might go more opaque. Mine does that. My main scanner crystal, when I go over an area of disease or illness, where I know to stop because the crystal goes opaque on me. But then other people who work with scanners say that the crystal turns a color, like when it goes over an area of disease, like they'll see a purple shadow or a brown shadow. So you have to learn to discern how your scanner communicates with you and what sign it gives you when it's going over an area in the body or in the aura where there's something that has to be removed. Isn't it beautiful? There aren't a lot of crystal clear selenite scanner slices like that. And not that are perfect, like hand size. I literally picked up this piece and I was like, I know it's for somebody in Aro, and I know that they're going to use it as a healing tool. So that was what led me to that. Ha, I love that. Ah, thank you, my sweet team. So they put the link there for you for pre-registration for affiliate. Really exciting. And like I said, make sure that you are in Holistic Healer. Make sure that anyone you are going to want to bring into your circle for this is already in Holistic Healer by December 1st, and make sure you pre-register for the affiliate program. The basic affiliate program you can do even if you're just in Aro or just in GemWise, but in order to do the sub-affiliate program where you build out your team and then move into different levels, that is for Holistic Healer, just to clarify that. Yay! Okay. Mother Earth is a divinely creative, artistic goddess, in my opinion. Everything that she creates is incredible. Truly, there are things that are incredible. So we're going to start tonight by talking about one of them. So I'm going to jump right in with Cypress. Actually, let me smudge really quick. I smudged right before we started, which is why I didn't think to smudge again, but let me just do a quick smudge for you. I have in my in the bottom of my shell, I have my ceremonial incense. That's how I do it. So if you want to know another fun way to use your incense, if you have it, is you open your incense. This is a brand new fresh one. So it comes in a little bag like this. And then what I do is I just pour a little bit into my shell at the bottom. Probably sounds like a weird way to work with incense, but wait till you see. It really is the best way to work with incense because you don't have to have a charcoal disc to light it. I know, it's wonderful. Rebecca said, I just started being able to give mediumship readings from stones. How cool if you use them in a medically intuitive way as well. It's a brilliant thing, actually, to use your crystals as a medical intuitive. They are there really to show you what's happening in the body. And if you can learn to decode their signs and symbols, it's a powerful thing. So what I do is I just light my sage bundle, or torch it, burn it up. And then once I'm done just moving my smoke around over me, over my tools, once I'm done with all that, then I take my smudge bundle and I put it out in my shell over the incense. And so what you're doing is you're basically burning your incense by using the sage. And so the smoke that comes up isn't just the smoke of your white sage. Now it includes the Palo Santo and all the other ingredients in the ceremonial incense. So I love that as a kind of a fun way to, yeah, so everyone involved in the program, in the sub-affiliate program, whether they're working as an affiliate with sub-affiliates or they're sub-affiliate to you, everyone has to be in Holistic Healer. And that is so that I make sure that the people who are doing this are up to date on my teachings, because it's really, really important to me that you have a mastery of aromatherapy and gems. But the main thing I want you to know is we are not raising the price of Holistic Healer. So it will remain the same, and there's no cost to be in the program, and there's no minimum anything to buy. So it's actually really a great, great thing. So Holistic Healer will be through 2018. We'll continue all the way through 2018. The classes are all staying the same: GemWise, AroMagic, and Magical Sabbatical. And Illumina is continuing through 2018 as well. Yes, yes, yes. And you don't have to buy anything. You will have an affiliate code that you share with people. And then when your affiliates share their code, you will earn back from them too. But you don't have to buy any products. You don't have to actually carry any inventory. That's one of the other benefits of the way that we're approaching this too, because a lot of people don't have money to buy things up front, and they also don't have space to store a bunch of inventory, and they also don't want to commit to buying anything. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, so you have 2 months notice to get into Holistic Healer and to get your friends in there too, and then the whole thing starts in December. So I wanted to get the word out. In fact, it's a little over 2 months now. It's 9 weeks. So I want to make sure you knew all about this before it goes live. So excited for you. Classes are all still going to be live. Nothing's changing next year. I was able to finally build a curriculum that I love. So everything about Holistic Healer is staying the same next year, except you're going to get more for your money because you're going to be getting free tools, additional videos to help support you. And so you're actually going to be getting more for your $60 next year than you're getting now. And I'm really proud about that and excited about that too. Yeah, you don't have to live in the US. You can be anywhere in the world. And in fact, if you're one of the first affiliates in your country, it's going to be really easy for you to do incredibly well, right? Because you will be one of the only people that people will know where you are. So it's really important to make sure that you get into your communities. It's exciting. We tried to make this the best of the best. Like if I was going to join something, this is what I would want. I would want no commitment to buy every month. I would want no startup fee. I would want lots of education. I would want my classes to stay the same price. I would want live instruction. I would want all those things. So we tried to make it everything you would want. Yes, yes, yes. And yes, yes, yes. So my point is hang on, because there's some fun things coming for you. Could be a really fun holiday season for you. Really good. Okay, so let's start with Cyprus, can we? I have so many personal stories about tonight's oils and herbs that I want to share with you. So I want to, and I'll circle back and just refresh. I want to get into the meat of the class right now, but we're talking about the affiliate program that's launching soon. And so we put the affiliate pre-registration link up for you. Just make sure that you've done that. For right now, it's all you need to focus on. Okay, cool. So Cyprus, let's begin there. Cyprus, Cupressus, Semper Virens, Semper Virens. I want you to take 3 deep inhales of your cypress, and that's how we're going to begin tonight. So good. Carol loves the smell of cypress. Loves it, and I do too. And so I think once I share with you, this is my touch point, my connection to cypress, why it's so incredibly important to me in my work. It's in my top 10 personal oils, meaning I can't do magical work without it. So I'm hoping to kind of share with you my, yeah, well, we can talk about all of that, whether you want to set up a Facebook page for your affiliate program. I think you probably should. And we'll be offering business cards and things like that. You'll have your own code. So we'll get into all that later. I'll come back to that. I just want to make sure we're getting our class content done. I know you're excited. I'm excited too. I couldn't wait to tell you today. It's really, really cool. Okay, so yeah, I apply Cypress neat. I have no problems with it. I've never known anybody who really had a problem with Cypress, which is why I'm applying it direct from the bottle. And 3 deep inhales. You ready? Does smell like Pythia. Amy Bell has a really good nose. She just picked that up. There is a lot of cypress in Pythia. It's not the only ingredient, but it is one of the main ones. There's also ylang-ylang and rose essential oils in Pythia. So she wins the sniffer award tonight. I know, right, Sarah? It's true, because there's a lot of questions, and I want to make sure I answer them all for you, but you don't have to do anything right now. So thank you, Ryan, for that. Yes, over the kidney, over the adrenals. So let's talk about cypress. You ready? Part of what I love. Cyprus was sacred to 2 very important Greek mythological figures. One is the oracle, at Delphi. And one of the main oracles was Pythia, which is why Pythia blend has cypress essential oil in it. So there were, if you can imagine the beautiful cypress or the beautiful oracle at Delphi in Greece, and you can imagine maybe an ancient picture of it in your mind, right? Just sort of like rocks and barren landscape, and then this beautiful hidden cave with beautiful carved rocks all over the entrance. Surrounding the oracle at Delphi was a ring of cypress trees, a huge ring of cypress trees. And then in between each, so the cypress trees were in a ring, and in between each cypress tree was a rose bush. And so that was my original, in doing that historical research and understanding what the flora and fauna would have been of the oracle. What were the animals that were there? What were the plants that were there? What were the flowers that were there? When I learned that those cypress trees were around the original oracle at Delphi, and that in between each pair of cypress trees, they planted a rose. The rose was thought to bring compassion and love, because a lot of times the oracle's visions were of war and destruction. And so it was thought that the cypress tree, which represents death and transformation, would be balanced by the compassionate energies of rose. And so it was this upper and lower energy, right? Like having the huge, tall cypress trees balanced by the beauty and the tenderness of the rose flowers for compassion. So I've always loved that, that little tidbit. The other thing you should know about cypress is that it was sacred to Circe. Do you guys know who Circe is? She's a Greek goddess. She was born of the sun and the sea. Circe's mother was a water nymph, and her father was Helios, the god of the sun. And Circe herself was a very powerful sorceress. And actually in Greek, Circe is Kirke. And Kirke, part of the meaning of Kirke is rings or rungs, okay? And that came, her name, Circe Invidiosa is her full name. The name of Circe, or Kirke, actually comes from the idea that magic itself creates a ring of power. That's how the Greeks thought about it. And if you think about that, even to this, yeah, and that's, by the way, so Terry, it's a great point. So when everybody came to me, and even my husband was like, Circe, where did that name come from? Game of Thrones? I was like, stop right now. Go do your homework. You know what I mean? That nobody on these television shows names anyone by accident. So Circe Invidiosa would poison the waters. That was one of the ways that she would enact her karma and her wrath, because she wielded both the power of the sun, her father was the sun god, and the power of the oceans. And so she could harness the power of the sun, and she could poison the waters to bring her wrath, to bring her sorcery to those who crossed her. So Circe was a figure of light, but also a figure of shadow, and that's how she enacted her punishment. It's interesting, right? Circe Invidiosa, if you start researching, that's exactly why the creators of Game of Thrones used that name for her, because she has the power to be benevolent, and yet most of the time she used her power in dark ways. And so she represents the darker face of, okay, good. I'm just reading your comments a little bit. I know, right? So good. Okay, so Kirke in Greek mythology, Circe is the goddess of transmutation, illusion, and necromancy. And so those are her primary skills. She was a shapeshifter, and so she, like I said, she could move between land and sea. She was not a generous figure, but she was a very powerful magician. And so one of the things, you know, even in pagan circles, some people worship Circe. I don't do that, but I'm just saying that some people do. And some people believe that if you call upon Circe when you're doing magical work, that she can really lend a lot of power to your workings. The challenge is you have to really try to predict, you know, Circe's orientation and whether she's going to be a figure of benevolence in her work with you or a figure of blessings, right? Yeah, and Daenerys means rainbow. It's really, isn't it? It's interesting how they chose the names. So by the way, so if you wanted to make, I came up with a recipe called Circe's Circle Blend, okay? If you wanted to take herbs or essential oils and make what might be a very powerful sorcery blend, and that's up to you if you want the recipe and if you want to use it. But I came up with this recipe for you. These are all essential oils and herbs that are known to, in you know, connection to tonight's theme, to be able to help you with astral magic, so magic that takes you out of third dimension, out of your physical body, and transports you to other dimensions. These are all herbs also and oils that are known for increasing your intuitive capacity and for helping to soften the central nervous system, which is really important when you're trying to meditate or do any kind of reading. So here's the recipe. And I'll make a meme for you out of these. So I don't want you to scramble to take notes, but in case you are taking notes, here's the recipe. It would be mugwort, cypress, galbanum, ruchiora, which is one of our blends or one of our essential oils that we worked with recently, spruce, and ginger. Those are all considered to be herbs and essential oils sacred to Kirky or Circe, who holds in her hand the great ring of magic. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? It reminds me a little bit of Lord of the Rings too. There's a little bit of that kind of like, dark light magic thing that all is connected to a sacred ring. So now you know why I'm so into cypress, because it has all of this. I mean, it really is even though Asians revere cypress as a tree of knowledge and a tree of the dead, right? Even though it's revered in lots of different countries, and you can harvest and distill the essential oils in lots of different countries too, primarily, like I said, the Mediterranean, Mexico, the United States. So even though you can get it in a lot of different places, the legend and the lore of it really transcends time and place and really has its anchor in ancient Greek mythology. So good. So mugwort, galbanum, ruchiora, cypress, spruce, and ginger are the essential oils that would go into Circe's Circle blend if you wanted to make it. And you could, one of the things I want to encourage you is take the recipes and adapt them. You know what I mean? That's a best case scenario, that you would have all those ingredients together. I probably will either make you the herbal version of it or the essential oil version of it, but you can make your own. And part of what I really love is, like, it really excites me when I go into the group and I see you guys experimenting. Like, I see you mention this recipe and I didn't have this, but I tried this, and then how you take it and make it your own. And I'm hoping I inspire you to do that, because that's where you're really going to develop your own perfuming skills. When you take something that I do and you riff on it, there's a good chance you might even make it better. Maybe you have something that I didn't even mention in the mix. So I always recommend, it's a great question from Gelinity. I always recommend diluting your essential oils, okay? I'm pretty transparent, so I usually share with you when I use them directly, like cypress tonight, I didn't dilute it. But the other thing is, it really makes sure essential oils, especially because a lot of the ones that we work with in AroMagic are very expensive, right? I think we lose sight because I've tried to get them for you at affordable prices. They are very expensive, and so when you dilute them, you really make them last a lot longer. And whether you suspend them in a jojoba base or a sweet almond base, an olive base, some of your more savory oils smell really beautiful when you blend them with extra virgin olive oil. And that's when you can start to really think about, because one of the questions from tonight, which I love, by the way, I love it when you ask questions. It really guides me in my preparation. Oh, hi, Jennifer. It's Jennifer Chan. Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Yeah, I mean, you should always ask. And there's no off-limit question. But just in general, I try to give you, and as you start to become an affiliate and you're teaching and you're having parties and you're engaging with customers and clients, that's my recommendation to you as well, just because you won't always know what someone could have an allergic reaction to. And like I said, I have chosen this year not to work with highly allergenic essential oils. Just because, like, why? There are lots of other alternatives. We're not doing cinnamon cassia this year, for example, just because there's no point. A lot of people are allergic to it. And I'd rather not put things in your hands that are likely to cause problems for you or anyone else. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, grapeseed's a beautiful carrier. Apricot's a beautiful carrier. They go rancid, so you have to be really careful. I used to love working with apricot, kernel oil until it went rancid on me, and it goes rancid pretty quick. So some of those carrier oils, you have to store them in the refrigerator and just, make sure that you're smelling them before you apply them, because they can go rancid on you really fast. I work with jojoba primarily as a base just because it doesn't go rancid. It has a 2 to 4 year shelf life. Hemp, I love working with hemp. We use hemp sometimes in our Sage Goddess perfumes just because I love what it does for my skin. Hemp is anti-aging, and it's very moisturizing for the skin, but it mimics the sebum of your skin, which means it doesn't have a really slippery feel. It doesn't feel super oily. I love fractionated coconut too, Zan. I'm with you on that one. I really do like it a lot. Again, it has that kind of nice slip. It's not too oily, not too greasy, and coconut oil is incredibly important for your skin's regeneration. I like that too. I'm not sure. We have a supplier for our hemp who distills it for us And so I don't know where you might be able to get it retail, but we sell our carrier oils on our website too. So if there are certain ones that you're looking for, just let us know. No, it's a great question about whether there's some carrier oils that are better than others for magical reasons. A lot of people like hemp for the magical reasons, because hemp is also thought to bring prosperity and wellness, physical wellness. So it all just depends. But I think, and you can for sure mix carrier oils. Sometimes if they don't mix well, they could separate. But as long as you don't mind that, I don't mind natural separation, because sometimes, you know, like natural cacao essential oil is always going to separate from your carrier oils. I don't mind that as long as you just shake it a little bit, but just to keep that in mind. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying it. That's wonderful. Thank you for, yeah, Rukiora, by the way, is R-U-H, 2 words, R-U-H, and then K-E-O-R-A. That's a really magical one. And I think there's still a few on the website if you're missing that one from your collection. Yeah, Fran, I'm with you. I like almond oil and jojoba. Galbanum, I want to say we had galbanum. If we haven't done it separately yet, it's coming, because we do have galbanum. And like I said, in a few weeks, the essential oil library on sagegoddess.com will be pretty complete. So that if you're missing things, it'll be easy to catch up and find what you need. Okay. What else did I want to tell you about cypress? There's so much to tell you. Let me give you some duos, okay? I could tell you all the things. Here's what I put for you online, right? And make sure you're going to the classroom and reading the content that I write and put up there for you, just because there's a lot of things I don't mention here just because they are on your classroom page, and I don't want to be redundant. I always hated that when I had a teacher who would read to me the stuff that she had already given me in writing. It was kind of like, you already told me that. So I'm not redundant with you guys, but just to make sure you know the information is there. Yes, my books are coming. They are coming. The aromatherapy book probably won't be until 2019 because the other books are taking more priority right now, but it is coming. Okay, you ready? So just a couple of things. By the way, semper virens or semper vivens, you'll see it 2 different ways, means ever living. And so this was thought to be an oil, not just of death, but of immortality. And I think that's why they ringed the oracle with cypress trees, because the cypress was thought to be immortal, right? And at the very least, it was thought that the wisdom that the oracle would deliver through her channeled speeches, which we know were a result of intoxication from gas fumes, you know what I mean, and other incenses that they were burning. So the cypress or the oracle would go into a trance state induced largely by fumes and by certain kinds of smoke. And then she would give her visions. And because, you know, her visions would sometimes lead to battles and to wars, it was thought that the wisdom that she imparted would at least contribute to the idea of immortality. She would tell people how to, you know, succeed in battle or how to overcome their enemies. And the idea was it was all in service of immortality. Awesome, Dora. Well, yeah, so just so you make sure that you know the information is there. Sometimes I'm like, do they know there's a lot of information on the website? It's all there. Okay. Anything else? So the Egyptians used it in the mummification process. Again, when they did that, you know, when they would make their, sometimes their funeral pyres, or they would build their coffins using cypress wood, it was because they thought cypress sort of greased up the path to the afterlife, right? It made it easier for your soul to make passage to the afterlife. So it is fascinating. Okay, I'm going to give you some duos. By the way, cypress honors Pluto, Persephone, the underworld, death. It's associated with Saturn and cycles of life. It is associated with both the root chakra and the crown chakra. Okay, so it's what we call a channeling oil, because it opens the root and the crown. And when you open the root and the crown at the same time, all of the other chakras open too. And so it becomes a channeling essential oil, which is why it's always been thought of as very important for divination. Here are some, not full recipes, but duos that I think would be really powerful. And then you can make up your own duos. I love a 2-note perfume, because basically it has a top and a bottom note. Or it can have 2 top notes or a top and a middle. But usually when I try to do a blend, I try to do a mixture of top and bottom. So here are my little duos. You ready? Hi, Karen. No, you're just fine. We're just getting started. We're actually on our first of the 4 products for tonight. So you are here right in time. Soup to nuts. That's right. Okay, so the first duo I'm calling Safe Passage. This would be a good Like I said, channeling blend, something to help you go from third dimension reality to fourth and fifth dimension reality, any kind of shamanic journey work. That's what I would use this duo for, called Safe Passage. And it would be cypress and sage, either white sage or clary sage. You could use either one, because in terms of that duo, the sage represents, whether it's Salvia apiana or the clary sage, they represent sort of the same energy. So Safe Passage would be cypress and sage. The second one I came up with is called Sacred Sorcery, honoring that connection to Circe, and the long lineage of mugwort, which has always been thought to be a very powerful witching herb. So if you combine cypress with mugwort, that's what I'm calling Sacred Sorcery. And that's about as potent an oracle, witchy, divination blend as you could make. Fun, right? Hi, everyone. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, super fun. And Norma's got them, so she's able to do all this. Oh, that's beautiful. Tony said she just put cypress on her Wyoming sage on her charcoal. I was just burning some of that beautiful sage, by the way. Love, love, love so much. Okay, the third duo I come up with for you is Past Life Recall. And that would be a combination of cypress and fennel, because fennel is what we call a recalling herb. Fennel helps you to remember the past with clarity. And it also does the same thing for past life memories. In fact, if you're old school SG, you might remember a perfume called Remember, which had fennel in it. We worked with it around goddess Isis, because if you remember the tale of Isis and Osiris, when Osiris's body was dismembered, she went around and remembered him. She put him back together. And so one of the herbs and oils that's sacred to Isis is fennel. So that would be a really beautiful duo for you to use as well. Well, Bonnie, I don't know about that. Yeah, Bridge had fennel too. And I don't do a lot of perfumes with fennel, by the way, because some people don't like it. But it is really powerful, especially for past life activation. I love it too, but I like to cook with it. You know, I think in a lot of Mediterranean cuisine, fennel is pretty common. Norma, you're naughty. Norma said she remembered his member. She sure did. As the story goes, I don't think he ever really got it to work again. But that's a subject for another evening, everyone. Yeah, so you can. What I tell people is what I'm sort of obligated to tell you, which is that your herbs are for external use only. But I will tell you that many people take them as tea, okay? I drink Uva Ursi tea every day. And I'm going to talk to you about why when we get to Uva Ursi. So, but, you know, in my role, I have to tell you that your herbs are for external use. Like if you go and buy your herbs anywhere and you look at what it says external use. Oh, how fun. Claudia said she's getting ready for a psychic fair. You totally should. You know, and this is where, as you guys get more creative, once the affiliate, you know, part of the role starts, you can be coming up with new blends and then sharing the essential oils with people. And that would be a way for you to have something new to offer people. It might be the same product that other people are buying, but maybe you're introducing it to them in a new way. So that's kind of exciting too. Do we have mugwort EO on this side? I'm not sure, actually. We have Witch Perfume, which is a blend of patchouli and mugwort. But I'm not sure if we have straight mugwort, but we will have it soon. So stand by. All of that is coming. If you missed the first part of this class, when you go back and watch the first part, that will all make more sense to you. I'm so glad. Okay. Let us transition. Any questions about Cyprus before we move on to Orris? There is so much good stuff tonight. Orris. Really fun story with Orris, too. Yeah, please let me know, actually, your experience there. That'd be really fun. Rosemary is for remembrance, in fact, Bianca. And it's funny because the first time I ever heard rosemary for remembrance was actually from Shakespeare, back when in my lit major days. And Shakespeare was actually well-versed in apothecary, and he mentioned a lot of different herbs and oils in his different plays. And so, yes. It doesn't necessarily have the same properties to me, because rosemary has other properties that sort of disrupt the meditative properties, in my opinion, of fennel. But certainly I would say that because it does have that energy of being able to conjure memory. Thyme is another one, another herb and an essential oil as well, that can help to conjure memories, especially past memories. Okay, you ready for Orris? Come to me, Orris root. This one is also safe to apply, skin safe for you. Because it's so expensive, I would dilute it, but I do want you to smell your orris. 3 deep inhales. Orris has a long history, you guys. I am so excited. Orris has a long history. Yeah, thanks for that, Ryan. I would agree. I think peppermint is more short-term memory, whereas I would say rosemary and fennel are long-term / past life memories. So for students who are studying, for example, for exams, a lot of times what I will recommend is peppermint, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Those are all really good oils, well aspected for short-term memory. And so when people are also having short-term memory loss, that can come from anything, right? That's a really good blend for alertness, which has a lot to do with short-term memory recall. So good. Okay, you ready? It smells like old school lipstick. Okay, here's what's exciting. This orris that you have, this was a first for me. It may not seem like a big deal to you, but it was like a super big deal for me. This was the first time that we ever had an essential oil distilled for us. In other words, this company had access to it, but did not distill it because it was so expensive. And because we committed to buy enough for all of your kits, they actually agreed to distill the oil for us. So you're holding something really special. Orris root is ridiculously expensive. Do you guys know what flower it comes from? That's sort of a pop quiz for you guys. This is where you're going to get really into it. The history of orris, the magic of orris. If you don't fall in love, pun intended, do you guys know what flower it comes from? Curious if you know. Actually, there's a 2-part to this pop quiz. Do you know what flower it comes from? That's exactly right. Fran got it first. It's iris. It's actually the rhizome of the iris plant. And do you know what it's most often confused with? Do you guys know what flower people confuse it with? There is a flower that everyone thinks orris is, and it's not. I'm just really curious if you guys know it. It's super thick, you guys. Super thick. At room temperature, when it, orris can actually be solid. So it comes from the iris plant. It's the rhizome of the iris plant. Yes, Ellie got it. So, and Fran got it, and Trisha got it. People confuse orris with violet. And so it has always been called, like it's been called things like, the violet's mistress and things like that, because people always assumed, and at least in past times, that it was violet. I think it's interesting. Oh, by the way, I did something kind of special for you tonight that you might like. I totally forgot until just now looking at my notes. I added major arcana tarot card correspondences for these oils. And if you like it, I'll start doing it every month. It's kind of fun, right? This is based a little bit in what other people think and a little bit based on my own experiences. There are people who associate with the major arcana cards with each of the oils, but where I couldn't find them in other people's legends, I decided to come up with my own. No, our violet perfume does not have orris in it. In fact, the only thing at Sage Goddess that has orris in it is orris. This is the first time we've worked with it. I know, right? Super fun. Okay, Cypress, no surprise, the death card. It's the tree of death, but it's also the tree of transformation and everlasting life. But I have assigned it, and other people have assigned it to the death card. So that is... Sure, I think we cover, at the end of the year, maybe what I'll do is I'll do a chart of all the oils and the correspondences. That might be kind of fun for you guys, or I can do a separate one that just has the essential oils of the year with the major arcana cards of the year. That might be another really fun way to do that. It's making you sweat, Sharon. I hope that's a good thing. I don't know. I will tell you that orris, one of the uses for orris, as well as uva ursi, is menopausal symptoms. So I'm going to share with you tonight, I made a little recipe for menopausal ease that you might enjoy. Okay. Just remind me, and at the end of the year, I'll make that for you with all of the major arcana. Colin says, Orris Glow. I love that. The music list is coming. It's going to come as a blog post because honestly, everybody in the community wants the music list. So I was going to just do it in one group or another, but I think I'm going to do it as a full blog post. Aw. Okay, good. Could be good. Okay, so orris, the Latin is Iris florentina. It is the rhizome of the iris plant, which is pretty special. The card for orris is the lovers, which is a huge clue to you about the metaphysical properties of orris. Now, here's what you have to know about orris. Taking a big, deep inhale before I tell you this. So legend has it that even if you just held the orris root in your hand, that love would find you. I mean, and this is like real deal, all the way to, you know, there are major love spells where orris is the only ingredient. It is thought to be one of the most powerful aphrodisiacs, but also the most powerful root in the entire plant kingdom for attracting love and the soulmate. So take that for what it's worth, but I actually have a lot of friends who have relied on orris for this very reason with much success. So that's something to think about. Okay. The zodiac sign is Pisces, feminine, water, Venus. It should be no surprise that orris is associated with Venus, because Venus is the planet of love. In the Roman pantheon, Venus is the goddess of love. And so it makes perfect sense in so many ways, doesn't it? That orris, which is the love herb. I know. You should, honestly, if you are, well, the root is what is distilled for you. So the oil that you are working with, the orris root oil, is the actual distilled oil from the root. It is not the iris flowers. So you don't need the root. In fact, working with the perfume is going to attract love much more powerfully, because it's partly the root itself and it's partly the scent. And so that's why I'm telling you, tonight is so special. That kit was so special. It's why it sold out, and why there's only 15 of them left. Because people know that it's so incredibly hard to find orris root essential oil, and if you do, it is so expensive. And it was just one part of your $19 kit. The orris root essential oil is worth more than the whole value of the kit this month. I was really proud of that, being able to do that for you, especially given that they had to distill it just for us. It was extremely expensive. Mandy said she made herself a blend that she wears every day with orris. How's it going for you? Are you attracting a lot of? Is it bringing all the boys to the yard for you, or the girls to the yard, as the case may be? Drinking my kombucha. I'm so glad you like it. It's really, really sticky, for sure. I mean, it's resinous, right? Think of the process of extracting this particular essential oil, much like vetiver. If you think about vetiver, it's extremely resinous, very thick, very sticky. Vetiver is the rhizome of vetiver root, is the rhizome of the vetiver plant, right? So again, vetiver isn't distilled from the leaves, it's distilled from the root. Whenever you're distilling from the root of a plant, the product itself is going to be much more resinous and thick and sticky. The yard is crowded, Norma. I had to. Sometimes I have to throw in a weird, dumb pop culture reference just to make sure you're paying attention. Okay. Traditional, since the time of ancient Greece, mistaken often for violets. This is just from the content that I gave to you. It's a moon plant for divination and all of those things. But the #1 use of orris is to find and hold love. Once you have love, orris connects the love to you. So orris is thought to prevent, any kind of infidelity among partners. A lot of people work with orris root or orris oil and emeralds, which are the stone of fidelity. So if you have somebody who's, playing a little bit where they shouldn't be, maybe you can work with orris root and emerald. Or if it's you, no judgment, just saying. Okay, now, why did I include orris in this kit, which is about divination and astral travel and all of these things? Orris is what I use and have used for a very long time. That's right, exactly what I was just saying, Sherry, about keeping love, not just finding love, but keeping love. Orris is what I have long used and recommended the clients use, whether it's the root, the powder of the root itself, or the perfume, to communicate with spirit about love. And you can actually do a really fun divination exercise where you put a little bit of your orris root on a charcoal disc, or you diffuse it, or you wear it. Deep inhale, and then ask your spirit guides as you're working with the scent of orris. You got to make sure that that's why diffusing it is really nice. You can smell it in the room. Ask your guides to show you what you need to see about love in your life right now. Where is love? Is it coming? Is the love that you have true? Should you stay with your partner? This is an oil that brings a lot of wisdom around love and connects you to your love guides. Because everybody has partnership guides. I always like to say that you have guides for you, and then your partner has guides for your partner. And then once you are in relationship, spirit relationship, then your spirit relationship actually attracts its own guides too. And so a lot of times before you even get into partnership with the person that you're going to be with, your guides have already connected with their guides because, of course, they know what's about to happen. And so sometimes you can get almost like a sneak peek, funny enough, of what will come. I love that. Mandy said, I made my Oris perfume actually as a Black Panther blend, which happens to be my spirit guide. Panther is one that always comes for me in any kind of shamanic journey. I love that. Panther's a very gentle guide, actually. Panther is a guide of wisdom. Emily, you do. You have to listen. You have to get quiet enough to hear their voice speaking to you. Okay, so that is Oris. Now on to, I hope you love Oris. If you don't feel confident in love, try wearing Oris. You have it. You might as well be wearing it. And you could add a little rose to it, which also is an oil for attracting. In fact, where are my duos? I have recipes for you. Are you ready for the Oris duos? What I call my Enchantress blend would be a duo of Oris and jasmine, because jasmine is an extreme aphrodisiac. I've never met a man that didn't think jasmine essential oil is very sexy. Most of them do. My husband prefers rose to jasmine. Yeah, Oris can go on directly non-mixed, and when you mix it with jasmine, so that's my Enchantress blend. Oris plus rose is what I'm calling sweet seduction. Sweet seduction. And then Oris plus Ylang is what I would call a priestess temple blend. Temple in the sense of, in the temple days, priestesses did lots of different things. And they were in intimate contact with people. So I always think of like the temple days as being a time when there was a lot of freedom and sensuality. And even, I mean, people were not in ancient times as stuck on ideas of heterosexuality and monogamy the way we are today. And in fact, the most powerful women in ancient societies, all the way back to Sumeria and ancient India, were women who had multiple partners in very open ways. Because at that time, sex was thought to be a source of divine power. And so women who had a lot of sex were thought to be really powerful. We live in a post-puritanical society where that's definitely not the case. In fact, we're quite judgmental of people who, what today we would call sex workers, but that was not the case in ancient times. Not at all, in fact. Okay, let me make sure I get you to my my menopause blend. It's coming with Uva Ursi. Okay, so stand by for, yeah, no, a lot of us do. I mean, a lot of us really, I have always struggled with modern sexual mores, just because I think it's kind of a joke. You know, we are kind of a very prudish society, and yet, what that does, all that does is push more open concepts of love and sex to the periphery and make it dangerous. You know what I mean? So in societies where sex is repressed, you end up with what I think is a less healthy approach to sex and intimacy. But that's just me on my soapbox on that topic. So, okay, let's see. Let's go on to Melissa. So this is Melissa True, as opposed to Melissa False. This is Melissa True, also known as Lemon Balm. Do you love Melissa? I love Melissa. Melissa comes from, just in case you know anyone named Melissa, the name or word Melissa comes from the Greek word for honey, meli. It's really funny. On my, when I was applying for graduate school and I took the GRE, I really had a test of whether I understood my Greek vocabulary, because I had never seen the word mellifluous before until I got into the room taking my graduate record exam for my PhD program. And I remember sitting down and I was like, mellifluous. And I was all pissed at myself because I was like, I'm totally not going to get this one. and I know Greek, like what? And so I sat there and I'm like, meli is honey, right? And fluo or fluous is related to viscosity, to fluidity. So I sat there. I remember sitting there in the graduate record exam. Such a funny like connection to this herb. But I remember sitting there for a minute in the graduate record exam thinking, mellifluous must mean sweetly flowing. And I look over, and one of the options for the definition was literally sweetly flowing, flowing with sweet ease or something like that. And I was like, Look at me go. It really pays. If your kids ever get a chance, or your young ones in your life say they're offering Latin or they're offering Greek, should I take it? You should tell them to take it. It will help them for their whole life. Was that a magic school bus? That's really funny. Anyway, so Melissa, now you know why Melissa is such a beautiful name for women, because it actually means sweetness. Meli is honey. So when you name a girl Melissa in Greek, what you're saying is that she's very sweet, that she will be sweetly flowing. Very interesting about the Epstein-Barr virus, which I love knowing that, because, of course, if you don't release the Epstein-Barr virus, you can end up with a lot of other complications as an adult. Yes, Melissa is lemon balm. And what I like to have you do is just open up your tin and just pinch your herb a little bit. When you pinch it, you release the oil from the dried leaves. And so this is how, that's awesome, Shannon. That's really cool, Mary, that you do that. And I'm even teaching my kids. I'm not teaching them the full-on languages because they don't have the patience for it right now for Latin and Greek, but I am teaching them all the roots of the words because it helps. Doesn't it smell like yummy tea? I think it does too, but you would recognize it. Lemon balm is used in culinary settings. It's in a lot of different food recipes. It's used in teas and has been used for thousands of years with teas. Okay, Melissa officinalis from Europe and the Mediterranean, Cancer, feminine, water, moon. Almost all of the herbs and oils tonight are very feminine. I want to point that out. There is and I'm always fascinated by that, right? Because these are traditionally thought to be very feminine. And when you look at the overall subject for tonight, right, which is astral travel and moving through dimensions and breaking, free from 3D reality and having a more interdimensional experience and awareness, isn't that thought of as being very feminine too, right? The sort of like the energy of the moon being able to shift the tides in our bodies and help us to expand and create deeper awareness with other, parts of our universe. To me, that's very feminine work. Oh, that's funny, Colin. I didn't know that about the Allman Brothers, that they had a song. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Okay. I remember when my parents saw me taking Latin in college. My parents are immigrants. So they didn't want me wasting, even though they weren't paying for it, they didn't want me wasting time or money. And so I remember my dad saying, "Oh, is that so you can go and listen to, a dead church service?" I said, "No, it's so that I understand my own language better. But thank you. Only half of my language, English, comes from Greek. The other half comes from Latin. Thank you for that little judgment." Okay, the tarot card, major arcana card for Melissa True is the Chariot card. And so there's a lot of different ways that Melissa can support you in your magical work. The number one way, really, from my perspective, is that it is an herb or an essential oil, if you work with the oil, that activates your dream space, your dream time. So anything you're going to do in dream time, including, connecting with guides. In sabbatical, I always teach the blue room meditation. It's really important to work with Melissa if you're doing any kind of meditative work in dream time, or asking your guides to meet and connect, which is what the blue room meditation is all about. Anything like that to access those realms, including elder counsel. Melissa is a very good tea to take. Any kind of lemon balm tea or tincture or elixir is really beautiful to take before any kind of ritual experience, because it activates all the upper chakras. And it makes it easier for you to go in and out of your body without the jumpiness. If you've ever had astral travel and you woke up and you felt like you had been slammed back into your body, have you ever had that experience? I like it in tea. And I would love your feedback, by the way. So good to see you. I would love your feedback. So in the cases where we have the herbs, would you also like to have the essential oil? We haven't done that yet, but because we're expanding our line so much as we open up this new affiliate program to make sure you have full stock and supply of everything that you need, if there are herbs that we have had that you would like to have in an essential oil form, could you do me a favor? Could someone go into the AroMagic group and actually start a post telling me which of your herbs you would like to have in essential oil form? And that way I can have sort of a running list. And so, because I'm going to be getting ready to place one of my big quarterly essential oil orders. And so it would be really helpful for me to know which ones those are for you. Can one of you guys do that for me? I would be really, really grateful for that. I appreciate it. White sage is coming. Salvia apiana is coming. It has been quite a challenge. We actually have a friend who has a distillery, and it's organic and all of that, which is exactly what I want. It's very expensive. Salvia apiana essential oil. And you know who's buying most of it in the world by the gallon? Are Asian companies who are in the health and beauty business. They are starting to use Salvia apiana or white sage essential oil in anti-aging treatments, apparently with some success. So yeah, just if you could just on the list in AroMagic, I would love to have that information, and then I'll do my best to be able to make sure that eventually we will have the full portfolio. There basically won't be anything that you want that you won't be able to find. That's the work that we're doing this year on sourcing, which is pretty exciting. I know, it's very, very exciting. Okay, and so for Melissa does a lot of other things other than that, I should tell you. And so one of the things, it does have a slightly narcotic effect, as does uva ursi. So those are the two sort of caveats with tonight. Don't overdo it with lemon balm. You'd have to drink a lot of tea, smoke a lot of the herb, burn a lot of the incense to have that effect. But there is a mild sedative, mild narcotic effect with too much ingestion of Melissa True and too much ingestion of uva ursi. Uva ursi is actually known as Kanik, which you might be familiar with. Native Americans use it. It is a sacred herb to Native Americans, and they smoke it as an alternative to tobacco. Thanks, you guys, for doing that. I really appreciate that you started a post. I'm very, very grateful for that. Okay, so let's jump right into uva ursi. We're going to go probably until about 6:20 tonight, because I'm not done with you yet, and I still have a giveaway that I will not forget. Okay, yes, it's very good. Melissa is very good for digestion. It's very good for anxiety. A lot of people take Melissa True tea, or a lemon balm tea at night for anxiety. And there's actually a lot of people in Middle Eastern traditions and cultures who believe in drinking lemon balm, sometimes with a little bit of geranium flower or hibiscus flower, which are also thought to ease anxiety. And that's a beautiful tasting tea, by the way. If you combine, let's call this another recipe, like the anti-anxiety tea. If you combine a Melissa True, which is lemon balm, with hibiscus or geranium flowers, that is a beautiful tasting tea that's also good for your digestive system and eases anxiety. If you happen to pour a little whiskey into that, then please invite me over. That's interesting, Sue. Sue asks, is it true that uva ursi can lighten your eyes? I don't know. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Susie's asking about tea. So fortunately, uva ursi, which we're transitioning to now, comes in a really easy to find tea that's already bagged for you and already prepared. So that's what this is my personal box of uva ursi tea. Because I drink uva ursi every day. The reason I drink it every day is that it prevents urinary tract infections, which I have a history of. And so uva ursi and goldenrod, and a little buchu too. Buchu's fun, by the way. Buchu is another one that treats disorders of the feminine urinary tract, including kidney infections and such. But buchu also has a mild sedative effect. So if you start to work with herbal tinctures and teas, that's something to think about. Yeah, uva ursi is a stone cold cure for a urinary tract infection. And so you can also use D-mannose, which is an amino acid, and that helps too. It's very, 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 very good. No, I think anytime you add lepidolite to any of your anti-anxiety, herbal or medicinal treatments, that's just a party bonus. Firejack is amazing too. Oh, I love that. Well, let's do uva ursi. Are you ready? Open up your little tin, take a pinch. I love uva ursi. I couldn't live without it. Yes, it's a mild diuretic. Yes, no cranberry juice. D-mannose is basically the extraction of every part of the cranberry that actually heals the urinary tract with none of the sugar. So no cranberry juice. You have to use D-mannose. And so when you take, and when you're starting, by the way, if you ever have a UTI, D-mannose will actually cure it without antibiotics. I have gotten myself off of the cycle of that. And when you're first starting with a UTI, and if you find D-mannose, I would say I usually start with about 5 capsules on the first day of what I think might be a UTI, and then follow it up with 3 the next day, 3 the next day, and see how you're feeling. It's so helpful. Honestly, it'll change your life, you guys. You'll never have to take antibiotics again. I promise you, because I was living on antibiotics. I lived on antibiotics, lived on them year-round, 4 years, before discovering Uva ursi, goldenrod, buchu, and D. manos. Down, down, down. You can't live on those. I mean, it was a time when I wasn't as aware, maybe. D. manos is pretty flippin' incredible. Okay. So do you want to write that down then as a urinary tract recipe? Because that's the recipe. So you would want to use D. manos. I use capsules, but you can take the powder if you prefer to mix the powder in water. Uva ursi does help with bloating because it's a diuretic. And so Uva ursi, goldenrod, and buchu are the 3 herbs that are known to cure urinary tract infections. And mostly what they do, the D. manos, what it does is it makes it impossible for the bacteria to stick to the urinary system. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's true. And Andrea, with me with MS, they happen all the time too. So it's just sort of like you have to get a handle on those things and find a natural response for them. I know. All right. Cheers to your health. We're not going to do the antibiotic stuff anymore. Yeah. Okay. So Melissa officinalis, as we said, Europe and the Mediterranean, very feminine. Oh no, we're on to Uva ursi. Let me get where we're going. My notes are not paginated. Okay, here we go. So Uva ursi. Interestingly, did you know that magical people recommend making a tea out of Uva ursi, not to drink, but actually to wash your stones? Uva ursi is thought to potentiate and activate the wisdom of your crystals and gems. Now, be careful, because some stones are water soluble, right? Like selenite will straight just melt on you if you sit selenite in a cup of tea. But for your stones that can take it, that's a very old witchy recipe. It's supposed to clear the energy of your stones and to activate the energy of your stones. Interesting, right? I always thought that was interesting. Okay. It is a root chakra herb. For me, by the way, Uva ursi, the moon. That's the major arcana card for Uva ursi, is the moon. I read in a few places people had associated it with the star. But I always think of the star as the wishing card, and I don't think of Uva ursi as a wishing herb. There are wishing herbs, but I wouldn't consider, in fact, I would say tonka bean would be something that I would associate with the star card. And I would say Uva ursi would be the, you agree with me, Siskara? Uva ursi would be the moon herb for me. Okay. It can be smoked or it can be burned as incense. It activates the collective subconscious. And you know what another name for the collective subconscious is? The shadow. So this is exactly the season to be working with Uva ursi. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say something that might sound strange to you, but this is part of what I try to do is draw connections between things using my intuition. So one of the things I have often thought is, go with me for the ride. Uva ursi activates it holds and activates the collective subconscious, which is the collective shadow. It's all of the repressed parts of all of us that make up our collective shadow, not our individual shadow, but almost our social shadow, like the shadow of society. And because it cures urinary tract infections, and it really only is a physical cure for the urinary tract, and because women tend to be the ones who have UTI issues, I have often thought, is that where we hold the shadow in our bodies? Kind of gives me goosebumps to say that. I have never read that anywhere. I have never seen that anywhere. This is my own kind of logic putting this together. Oh, thanks, Teresa. It is kind of pretty in here right now, isn't it? There's like the sun is really beautiful. Although I can't see you very well when I look into it. So, but anyway, I've often wondered that. Are we as women the keepers of the shadow? And for those of us who are really working hard at that and taking it on too much, is that why we have urinary tract issues? And so the herb that actually activates and heals the collective subconscious is the same one that heals our urinary tract. I don't know, but I'm thinking it's true. Is it dark in Minnesota? I know. It's kind of nice being on Pacific time, although soon here it's not going to be, I mean, it isn't, we're not even anywhere close to sunset right now in California, which is kind of nice, but soon we're going to be dark in here at 6 p.m. You're going to see me with fluorescent lights on every night. Yeah, right. It's interesting that a lot of you, I know, Michelle, I mean, it's funny because as I started to kind of put that together, because I wonder, why have I always struggled with UTIs? Even before I had all my 9 autoimmune diseases, right? Like, even before that, I was struggling. As a little girl, I was struggling. And then I thought about it. In my own family, I'm the keeper of the subconscious. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always call myself the shadow archivist of my family because I'm the one who knows all the shit. I know everybody's secrets. Everybody in my family comes to me and goes, I'm going to tell you this, but don't tell anybody else, right? So I know all this shit about everybody, right? And I've often thought to myself, what if, because that's not a good position to put people in your family. I don't tell secrets to anybody and say, don't tell anybody that, because I've learned the burden that makes you feel as you carry that around. But I've often thought, like, so if I'm the shit archivist of my family, right? Like, if I know everybody's dirt and all their secrets and everything else, is that why I can't get my urinary tract healed? And then finding out that there are herbs that would heal it, and that those herbs, in fact, are sedatives. They are, those herbs bring relaxation, relief from anxiety, heightened astral ability to astrally travel. They bring, you're the vault scare, right? A lot of us are. I mean, look at the feed. A lot of us are the gatekeepers and secret keepers in our families. And so I try to make sense of my world. And if it resonates with you, I think there's probably some truth to it. We are the shitty pickles archivists, that's for sure. Okay, so let me tell you that in addition to everything that we've just been talking about, Uva ursi in the herbal world is called the cosmic womb. Okay, it is thought to be the one herb that represents all of the wombing energy, right? Womb, of course, is where the word woman comes from. And so all the wombing that we do, both in terms of bringing life into this world, of caretaking each other, of creating, even if you don't create physical human life, you create other things. You create art, you create beauty, you create relationships, you create healing, you create dialogue, whatever it is that you do. And so that's fascinating to me. Now, because it is one of the wombing herbs, it is thought to be very powerful for perimenopause, which is early menopause, premenopause, and menopause itself. And so I'm going to give you this is like Athena's menopause blend. I am starting. I have been menopausing now for about 6 months while my body figures out whether I'm mother or crone. I can't seem to figure that out right now. So here are the ingredients for my menopause blend. You ready? This should go without saying because most women who are menopausing are not trying to have babies. This is not a pregnancy-safe blend, okay? But I don't think you're trying to get pregnant if you're in menopause. I'm just assuming that, okay? Uva ursi, black cohosh, C-O-H-O-S-H, cohosh, black cohosh, skullcap, ginseng, and red clover. So let me read that again. These are all herbs that are known to support the relief of the really crappy symptoms that come with menopause, like heat flashes, the hot flashes that you get, the irritability, you're super bitchy when you're menopausing, all of that stuff, the anxiety, like your heart starts to pound, the super forgetfulness. Like I will walk into a room right now and then just look around, and I know I needed to come into that room, and I'm like, does anybody know why I'm here? Other than, oh, you guys are so sweet. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate that. Okay, let me say it again. The menopause blend, Athena's magical menopause blend, is Uva ursi, black cohosh. It probably would be good for PMS. I just want to make sure that you don't use it if you're trying to have babies. This is not a good baby blend, mostly because of the red clover. Red clover is not good, if you are pregnant. Red clover is good if you are pregnant and you want that baby out. Okay, but if you want that baby in, that's not when you use red clover. So Uva ursi, black cohosh, skullcap, ginseng, and red clover is the batshit crazy blend for fun menopausal experiences. If you haven't gone through menopause yet, I'm really happy for you. Cheers. Happens to the best of us. No, I didn't say evening primrose, although there are people who say evening primrose and who take evening primrose supplements for menopause. So that would be something to look into as well. Yeah, so you could, I would recommend that as a tea blend. You'd have to gather up the herbs for that. If you guys are really interested in it, sometimes it's actually cheaper for me to make it for you and for you to buy it than for you to go and get all the ingredients. So if you guys are interested in that and you'd like me to put it together for you, I can put together an herbal blend with those ingredients for you too. You guys are making me laugh. It's kind of an evil cackle, but you know, you gotta keep your sense of humor. I know. And by the way, another way to work with your herbs, if you don't want to drink them, is to use them as incense. You know, take that blend, light a charcoal disc, and then put the herbs there and work with the smoke, right? That's just another way. The word perfume actually comes from perfume, Latin, which means through the smoke. And so originally how people experienced perfume and how they worked with perfume was not ever as essential oil. Essential oils are new, relatively speaking, whereas incense is thousands of years old, right? It's pre-biblical. It goes back to Sumeria. And so, you know, we have been working with resins and herbs by burning them for at least the 7,000 years of recorded civilization history that we have access to. Oh, girl, I hope so. And so essential oils have only been around, you know, for the last, millennia, or the last 1,000 years, let's say 1,500 years. Before that, everything was resin and herbs. So we really are relatively new in terms of understanding how to distill. The whole process of distillation and learning, you know, discerning whether you have to use a steam distillation process, or one of the other processes for distilling your oils. That's a whole art in itself. And so it's relatively new. I love incense. And if you ever want to really get back connected to your magic, you know, those moments where you're like, I don't know if I'm as into this as I used to be. Do you ever have those moments where you're like, I don't know, I need something to like juice me up or get me back into it? When I have those moments where I'm feeling like not as connected to things, the first thing I do is burn incense, because there's something about the actual act of burning incense that for me brings me back to some ancient part of myself that is often the part of me that I have to reactivate in order to get back into the work. And I'm saying that because it's really true. You know what I mean? Like there's just those moments where you're like, I don't know about all this. And then all of a sudden you burn some incense or you burn some white sage or you do a quick ritual and you're like, of course I love this. Now I remember why I love this so much, right? Yes, so here's the good news. You ready? I think there's a lot of good news tonight. I'm gonna do a bonus session for you guys, a crafting session. I'm going to do a crafting session for you. So we are going to make a perfume and we're going to make an incense together in our crafting session. And so what I'm going to do is teach you how to do it and just tell you, bring the herbs you want to combine and bring the oils that you want to combine. Intuitively choose. And I'm going to walk you through the entire process of making perfume and the entire process of making incense. I'm super excited about that. I haven't really crafted this much this year, and I'm kind of missing it. And I have a whole protocol. Those of you who've been with me for a while, Zan Carter and others have been with me. You've seen me do all that before. So it probably won't be that exciting to you. But those of you who've been with me only for the last year or two haven't really seen me do that stuff. And so you might really enjoy that. Kind of fun, right? I'm going to teach you how to incorporate crystals into it, the ritual part of it, which is the blessing of the ingredients, how to do that, how to incorporate crystals, how to charge the ingredients, how to actually blend the ingredients, how to work with incendiary agents like Mako powder. If you use Mako powder in your incense, you don't have to use a charcoal disc. Kind of fun, right? Aw, Zan, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. You heard rumors about crafting. The rumors are true. So we're going to do a perfume / incense party next month. And I think I'm going to do it close to Samhain. Wouldn't it be fun to do a New Year blend? Because Samhain is the start of the new year. Would you like that? So that our perfume is your New Year perfume and that our incense is your New Year incense. Wouldn't that be really fun? Would you guys like me to kit this? Like, would you like me to create a kit that might include like Mako powder and a container and a mortar and pestle and stuff? Or do you feel like you're good with what you have? Maybe you could give me some feedback and say, if you could kit it, that would be good. Because I could put together like a pretty bottle with some different drams and some different carrier oils to kind of get you started. And then you could, take that and kind of riff on it. I might just put the kits together that if you want one, great. And if you don't want one, that's great too. It just would make it a little easier for you to know for sure that you have everything that you need. I could put chipstones in the kit and things like that. Okay, good to know. I might just do a drop down of some kind where you can just get the Mako or you can get the kit, something like that. I'll figure it out. Depends on how much of everything I can put together. A Kit Harington, please. If you know who Kit Harington is, I would love it if we could have a Kit Harington in the shop. I heard he got engaged. He's off the market. Okay. Okay, very cool. Is there anything I didn't tell you about Uva Ursi? It shields you. It is for protection. It banishes fear. It brings protection to your business. It protects your money. It protects your success. It is antibacterial. It removes psychic blockages. It increases the flow of spiritual communication. It activates the collective subconscious, ancestral memories. It is the ultimate woming herb. It increases supersensory abilities. It's the flippinbomb.com. Okay, so that's Uva Ursi. And like I said, I use it every day. I think it's very, very important. And the bonus that was in your kit this month was Transmute. Did you like it? I loved me some Transmute. And by the way, you can also use Transmute directly on the skin if you want. There's really nothing in Transmute that should cause an allergic reaction to you. Transmute has a beautiful juniper berry. It has incredible cedar wood. And it has the most pure geranium, which you probably smell because that geranium is the top note, right? So the top note means it's the first thing that sort of hits your olfactory system when you open it. Oh, I'm so glad. I love that. In your tea light or on your charcoal. What I highly recommend, here's how you should use Transmute. Are you ready? You're going to kiss me for this because if you haven't done it yet, is flippin' amazing. Light a charcoal disc and just pour a drop or two of your Transmute oil onto the charcoal disc. Do that anytime you feel afraid, if you've had a nightmare, if there's been a disagreement at home, if it's disharmonious in your home, do that. If you've had an argument with a coworker, if you're about to do a ritual and the energy doesn't feel quite right. And then during the shadow season, of course, leading up to Samhain, there's a lot of energy to transmute. And so what I recommend is just do that once a day. Just light your charcoal, put just a drop. Isn't it beautiful, Jackie? Your whole room will smell. And the energies, because I mean, juniper, there is nothing that juniper can't transform, can't transmute. Juniper can take the lowest vibration. By the way, juniper is sacred to Native Americans. It's sacred to Greeks and Romans. It has always been thought to protect from the lowest possible vibrations. And geranium has almost the opposite set of properties, where it just attracts the highest, lightest, purest, cleanest vibrations. So the juniper is like a vacuum cleaner, and then the geranium comes through and lifts whatever other energy is there. Isn't that beautiful? Uh-oh. Megan said that it gave her a headache. There's nothing here that should have in that blend. So I'm wondering if maybe you were getting a headache anyway and it might have set it off for you. I wonder if when you feel better, if you might try it again or try anointing yourself with it and see if you have a better experience that way. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So if you guys got the droppers, that's a nice way of controlling, right? And also when you're going to add it to your charcoal, if you have your dropper, that's a nice way of controlling how much you actually include. Yeah. So juniper berry. Cedar wood, that's the secret ingredient. Cedar wood is protective, nurturing, uplifting, all of those things. It's also grounding. It does both. So I think of the juniper as the vacuum cleaner, the cedar wood as the strengthener in the blend. My cough is going to start in a minute, but we're almost done anyway, so the timing is good. And then the geranium comes through to clear and uplift. It's one of my favorites. I'm so glad you loved it too. Okay, before I move into a full coughing fit, giveaway time. Scanner selenite. Scanner selenite. Isn't this a beautiful, beautiful piece? It is crystal clear. I don't know if you can tell because my camera is kind of shitty on my computer. It is crystal clear. Pardon me, you guys. I've had bronchitis for 2 weeks, and it's right here in my chest. My voice sounds better, but when I start on a coughing kick, you know how this goes, right? I'm actually going to go home and chew osha root. So that's osha root for me is the only thing that gets rid of a cough like that. Okay. Isn't it beautiful? I know it belongs to one of you. That's why I'm so excited tonight. So, so, so good. So good. I'm just looking at all your beautiful names. Yeah, Shelly's like, I love a Dr. Crystal. Who doesn't love a Dr. Crystal, right? So Perry, Perry's asking what scanners do. It's a fantastic question. I don't have any of my other scanners here to show you. Anyway, usually we use quartz. What a scanner crystal is a very clear stone of about this size. And in Native American crystal healing practice, healers that use them, they look at you through the scanner crystal. And their crystal will show them, either by going opaque or by turning a color or by becoming warm, where to stop, where there might be disease or illness in the physical body. So we use it in a sort of a medical intuitive capacity to understand in the physical body what challenges or ailments or issues there might be. I know, it's a Dr. Crystal. Isn't that cool? Yeah, Jennifer, I know. I absolutely agree. Okay. I think I know. I think I know. Always more selenite, right? Okay. Okay, so the winner, drum roll please, Catherine Deininger. Catherine Deininger. Did I pronounce that correctly? If I did, I'm going to give myself a gold star, Catherine, because I'm using all of my English major-ishness. You know how you pronounce the I, not the E. So Catherine Deininger. My husband's last name has an E-I combination too. So can you tell me if she sees? Catherine, do you see that you won? I always like to make sure that the person knows. And so Catherine, I'm going to, please make sure you message me. Yay, she saw. She saw. My heart just skips a beat whenever that happens. I really believe this belongs to you, Catherine. I'm super, super, super excited for you. So Catherine, please send me a private message on Facebook tonight or tomorrow morning, whenever it's convenient for you. Make sure I have your correct mailing address. And as soon as I hear back from you tomorrow, I will ship this to you in the mail. And it is going to be a beautiful companion to you. You'll be able to use this for yourself. I also, it's funny, as I kind of check into your energy field, Catherine, what I'm getting from your guides is that you're also going to help others with this. I don't think this is just for you alone. Are you going to do that? Are you going to help other people with it too? I think you are. What the guides are telling me is that there's at least one person in your family who needs you to work with this crystal for them. And then I think there's someone else outside of your family who needs it too. So maybe you're going to take all your beautiful healing gifts and use this crystal to support the work that you do. That makes my heart happy. All right. Well, cheers, everybody. I hope you had fun with me tonight. I had so much fun with you. We have other drams to talk about. To catch up on beetle leaf, gardenia. I want to talk about sacramentum, lily of the valley that just got listed. I'm going to be teaching you about lily of the valley. And then we have our crafting session before Samhain. I'm just making myself a note that we're going to do incense and perfume. And there will be, I'll try to do 2 different kits for you with some options, because some of you won't need all the things, you know what I mean? So I know how I would prefer to have the option to break things out a little bit. So I will do my best to do that for you too. I'm so glad you're excited. So there's crafting coming in October. And then in December, like I said, starting December 1st. So if you want to get in on the affiliate program situation, make sure that you join Holistic Healer by December 1st. That's the #1 thing. If you haven't done the pre-registration, Lily of the Valley essential oil, if you don't have it yet, is coming to Sage Goddess. If you don't have the pre-registration information, we put the link up in the feed, and I'll also make sure that I put the link into the group too, because that's all you really need to do right now is you want to be in Holistic Healer starting December 1st if you're not there yet, and then you'll want to pre-register for the affiliate program. I know, I always have something up my sleeve. All right, you guys. Yeah, so when you upgrade to Holistic Healer, it includes AroMagic. So right now, if you're just in AroMagic, you're paying $20. Holistic Healer is $60. You get AroMagic, GemWise, Magical Sabbatical, and a standing 15% discount to sagegoddess.com. So that's the other thing. Once you become an affiliate, you're a holistic healer. So you get to use your 15% discount every day on everything. And then you get to earn cash back from other people's purchases when they use your affiliate code. So you still get your discount, plus you get the benefit from their shopping too, which is pretty cool. All right, I'm going to go have a coughing fit some more. I love you guys. It was really good to be with you tonight. I will see you very soon. If you're in GemWise, I get to see you tomorrow. Don't get tired of me. I'll see you soon. Have a great night, you guys.